When Bruce Lee began filming Game of Death in 1972, it was meant to be his masterpiece, his boldest, most personal film. A philosophical martial arts epic unlike anything ever seen. But what started as a groundbreaking vision would, after his sudden death, become one of the most mysterious and misunderstood movies in film history. The original vision. Game of Death was Bruce Lee's ultimate expression of martial arts freedom. He wasn't just starring in it, he was writing, directing, and choreographing every detail. The story followed a martial artist named Hai Tian who ascends a pagoda, floor by floor, fighting a new opponent at each level. Each guardian represented a different martial arts style or philosophy. The deeper message? To evolve, one must adapt and overcome rigid tradition. But Game of Death was more than just a fighting tournament. It was a cinematic metaphor for Lee's martial arts journey. His rejection of fixed styles, his belief in personal expression, and his battle against conformity. The final boss was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lee's real-life student, whose towering figure symbolized not just physical challenge, but spiritual opposition. A tragic interruption. Midway through filming, Bruce was approached by Warner Brothers to make Enter the Dragon, Hollywood's first major martial arts production. Realizing the opportunity, Bruce paused Game of Death to focus on the new film. Then, tragedy struck. On July 20, 1973, Bruce Lee died unexpectedly at the age of 32. Enter the Dragon was released weeks later and became a global phenomenon. But Game of Death, his passion project, was left unfinished, with only about 40 minutes of usable footage. The 1978 Patchwork. In 1978, 5 years after Lee's death, Golden Harvest released a version of Game of Death. But it was not the film Bruce envisioned. The studio used body doubles, old footage, and even inserted real shots from Bruce's funeral, including a close-up of his corpse in a coffin. These decisions were widely criticized as disrespectful and exploitative. Only a small portion of Bruce's original footage, the famous yellow jumpsuit scenes in the pagoda, were included. The rest of the movie had a forced storyline, weak dubbing, and lacked the philosophical depth Lee intended. Fans knew something wasn't right. The search for the lost footage. Over the decades, Game of Death became a mystery fans obsessed over. What was Bruce really trying to say? What scenes were lost? Did a full version ever exist? In the early 2000s, newly discovered footage from Bruce's original shoot began to surface. These included extended fight sequences, behind-the-scenes takes, and rare audio commentary notes. Documentaries like Bruce Lee, A Warrior's Journey, 2000, and Game of Death Redux, 2019. Attempted to reconstruct Bruce's vision using his own notes and the surviving footage. Though the original film was never completed, these restorations gave fans a glimpse of what Game of Death could have been: deep, daring, and sp.